Hey guys, it is AD.VideoEditor here, and in today's tutorial we will be going over Sony VegasFIll lights in the one and only, none other than Sony Vegas. So why don't you guys go ahead and open up Sony Vegas on whatever you're using, whether it is a desktop computer, a laptop, or something else that can hold Sony Vegas. And once you have Sony Vegas opened, feel free to import some footage onto your timeline so you can actually use this effect. And once you have your footage on the timeline, go on the video track in the lower right hand corner to the video effects icon or button or whatever you might want to call it, and you'll notice if you hover over it, it says Event Effects. So click on that, and this window appears, this very window that I'm shaking around. And find Fill Lights, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up from the bottom in the first column. So add that either by double clicking it or selecting it and clicking the Add button over here, and then simply click OK. And now this window appears. So the first thing you're going to see is something that should look familiar. It's the hue. So normally you would expect that when you change this, you see that your color changes, like you can change the hue of the color of your video. Well, yes and no. The hue works with the tint over here. So if you set the tint up, you can now see the subtle tint, of course, of the color. It's not going to be a great change, but it's just the tint, with thus the name tint. But you should still be able to recognize it. So if I change the hue, you can see how the color changes with it. And if you can't completely see it, then just change our next adjustment, the strength. The strength is, of course, the intensity of the light itself, because the fill light is just a light that fills in the screen because it's called fill light. They don't name these things the stupid things. They name them what they do, and of course Sony's a genius. So it's a fill light because it fills in some lights where it needs it. So if I strengthen that light, bring it all the way up, you can begin to see how it gets a little bit brighter. And now that my tint is all the way up, I can change the hue and be able to clearly notice a difference in the tint of color over my video. And after that, we have the bias. And what this does is it adjusts the balance of the image. And when you put it into negative values, it will increase the illumination of darker areas. So if I bring this down, you notice my darker areas getting a little bit brighter. Here, let me reset this all back to default so you can see it nice. If I bring this down, you can see how my darker areas get a little lighter. And when I bring this up, it does the opposite. It'll darken my darker areas. So you see how here's my bias at zero. And if I increase this, look at the darker areas or the monitors and how much darker they get going up. And if you really want to see a difference, go from negative 100 to 100. And there you can definitely see a very clear, distinct difference. And lastly, we have the softness. And the softness, of course, just softens it out or smoothens it out. So if I increase this, you see how everything gets a little bit smoother. And right now, you can't tell how much it does. But if I were to increase the tint all the way, increase the strength all the way, and let's see, what color do I want? How about this blue? Wait, where is it? I think that's a bluish tint. And look at my video now. As I increase the softness, sort of smoothens everything together. And at 100, it just looks very smooth and nice. And I have to say, it looks a lot less grainy. And this I really like. From 0, you see how it just looks like it looks okay. That's how you expect a video to kind of look. But you notice how grainy my monitors look. You can sort of see my shirt, my arms. But if I just increase the softness, it makes everything look a lot better. There's less grain in the monitors. The light, the glare you got in my monitor over here, where my mouse is, it's almost completely vanished. From 0. You see how great a glare that is, to 100. It's like very smooth and almost like it's not even there. So guys, that was the fill light effect in, of course, none other than Sony Vegas Pro. And please remember to come back and watch my tutorial tomorrow on Sony Film Effects and Sony Film Grain. And please remember to subscribe and like and comment. I always love getting some new subscribers, and I will personally thank you if you subscribe. And lastly, remember, if you have any questions, comments, compliments, complaints, please email me at AD.VideoEditor@gmail.com. Well guys, I will see you tomorrow, and thank you for watching.